Hello everyone, in this video I want to talk about the reason why you might consider buying the PlayStation 5 disc version versus the digital edition. So what are the advantages of actually owning the disc edition, which as you can see here costs $100 more compared to the digital edition, which you can see here on the right side. Well, first of all, let's mention the facts, right? Both of them are the same, except that the standard one has a Blu-ray disc player, one that supports 4K videos. And this disc player, although it's a Blu-ray, also of course compatible with DVDs. Now, other than that, they are both the same, and both will support downloading digital games through the PlayStation Store. Well, the first advantage is quite obvious. Well, you'll be able to play Blu-ray and DVDs, and if you have a selection of movies in your house and you want another player instead of having another external Blu-ray player, you can use the PlayStation 5 to do so. And even if you decide, for example, to rate a movie or buy a physical, you're a collector, well, again, this is an advantage that you will have, and you won't be able to do this on the digital edition. Another reason to get the disc version, by the way, I've the same experience with my PlayStation 4, where sometimes I bought this because at some locations my internet wasn't that good. And I told myself, oh my god, I need to download now 40 gigabytes or even more, depends on the game, of data. I can't do this, and sometimes I was relying actually on a SIM card with data. And some area people have just bad internet connection. For them, downloading such big games, especially next-gen games that can get to even 100 gigabytes, even more, even 200 gigabytes, just better to get the disc version. Buy the disc, and then you probably only need to download certain updates, but you only need to download the entire game, all these hundreds of gigabytes to your hard drive. But as I said, it's game dependent. Some games are going to be small, some large. But again, if you have kind of internet that it's not internet connectivity, which is not that good, you probably be better off with getting the disc version. Now, some people just enjoy owning physical copies of games rather than having digital, so they can keep it for many years and they feel they, kind of an ownership of the product. And although it doesn't seem like a big deal, for many people it is. So this is one reason. If you're probably one of those people, you don't need me to tell you that, you're probably going to go with a standard version, with the one with the disc. Now, another reason is that if you want to sell or rent PlayStation 5 games. For example, you finish the game and you're probably going to set yourself, all right, with the digital version, you're going to keep it, right? You can't actually say it's tied to your account. Unless you're going to, sell your account, for somebody, or send the PlayStation with your account. Whatever you are doing, if you're owning a physical copy, you can just sell it to anybody. Or there are some stores that actually buy the physical copies, or some people buy it just to be able to rent the game. I'm not saying just for money, maybe you have friends and you just want your friends to enjoy the game as well, or even your family. You can just give them the game and let them enjoy it, and then you're gonna get it back. Something you can do with a physical copy. But maybe the reason isn't that important to you, but maybe still think about it. Imagine being able to, later on down the road, maybe 10 years, 20 years, be able to sell your games as retro games. Yeah, those are the PlayStation 5. They'll be worth much more, by the way. And I've been in different retro game stores, and some of the games are very hard to find. So if you collect those games, some of them might worth a lot of money down the road. In a few years, many years down the road, when those games will consider to be retro games. Another reason is if you want to own special editions. And we know special editions, of course, they are digital, but we are talking about the one that comes with really cool things, with the physical edition, kind of big box, something with statues and stuff, and manuals or maps. Depends on the game, of course. If you really kind of want to feel like committed to a certain game, really feel kind of related to this game, really want to own it, well, that disc version is the one for you. I've seen this, there are many games that people do this. For example, imagine Cyberpunk 2077, people really want the special edition. There was one, I think, with No Man's Sky. Again, many games. So if you are among those who buy those special editions, well, I think the disc version of the PlayStation 5 is the one for you. Now, another reason to get the disc version is, well, you'll find that after some time they're going to be stores. And for example, when I was in Japan, I went to different gaming stores and I found many games, second-hand games, sold there for a very, very good price, very low price, that I couldn't find the same price online on the digital, on the Nintendo eShop. And the same goes here. There are many, there are going to be stores who are going to sell second-hand games for cheap. So again, but they won't be, of course, digital. They're going to be physical games, the disc. So you might be able to find them at a special price. So again, this is another reason. If you see yourself, or if you have done this before, you already know it. This is a good reason to get the disc version. Now again, I don't know how popular it is in different countries, but again, when I was in Japan, I bought so many Nintendo Switch game that is sold for, you know, second hand, and I saved a lot of money, really. And you know, if you consider all the games you're probably going to play, maybe not on day one they are released, a little bit later on, there are going to be quite a few, of course, because you won't be able to play everything. Maybe you don't have time, so at least you can get them for a lower price. But of course, they're going to be sales on digital games, but you just have more options, right? You can find maybe one on the store for a cheap price for sale, or maybe you're going to find physical ones sold as second-hand games in different stores. Now, let's not forget the option to just rent games. You go to a store that rent games, you can get a game for a fraction of the price and play it for a week. You know, some games you just finish, you have nothing to do with them, so just better to just rent them, right? You're gonna finish them in like a week or two, even a few hours, depends on the game, right? So you can save lots of money on this, especially games that are kind of, you know, expensive, on the expensive side, and you know that you won't be playing this for a long time because they're quite short. This is the type of game that you want to rent and not buy. And of course, digital is not rentable, so basically it's all physical. And again, putting aside, of course, the subscription services like Game Pass and PlayStation Now, which allows you to try out many different games and play them for free, as long as, of course, as you play the base subscription service, the monthly subscription service, you can try out many, many games. But again, having this extra option is great. So bottom line is related to saving money, and again, very good option and a reason to get the disc version. Now, another big reason is if you already own lots of PlayStation 4 games on disc, I mean, well, we know that PlayStation 5 will support those games, and well, this is a no-brainer, right? Because if you own many PlayStation 4 games, you want to play those games on the PlayStation 5, and maybe you sold your PlayStation 4 because you want to get the PlayStation 5. Again, if you have many PlayStation 4 games on disc, well, again, as I said, no-brainer. It's probably for you better to just get a disc version, so you'll be able to play all those games that you have. Just keep in mind, not all might be supported, but again, for what I've read, the majority of PlayStation 4 games will be supported. Now, if you own DVD and Blu-ray movie collections, well, and you just want one device in your living room without the second Blu-ray player, well, this just saves space. Maybe another reason, you know, just have a single device for your home entertainment, for playing games and watching movies. Now, it's important to know that if you are thinking about saving space on your hard drive, well, it doesn't work like that. Basically, when you put a CD in, it's going to copy the game data to the hard drive, to the SSD. It's going to play from there because it needs to run on a fast SSD. It won't run straight from the CD. So this is something to keep in mind if you are thinking about, well, if I'm going to buy the CD, I'm going to save also hard drive space. Well, it's not work like that, so just keep this in mind. Now, when I mention all this, you can see that at some point, although you're going to put $100 more on the console, you might save money later on down the road because you invested on the disc. Because you might find, you know, maybe your friend's going to give you a game that already finished, you won't need to pay for them, and maybe you're going to find some at the store and second-hand. So all this can come up to, you know, saving you lots of money on games, which will be much more down the road, especially years down the road, as an owner of the PlayStation 5. And this is something that you might not think right now. You're going to say, all right, I can just get the digital edition. I'm going to save $100 bucks. Great. But then again, this is gonna come back to you at some point, because if you were able to get games from friends or maybe find second-hand ones, you're gonna save lots of money on this one again down the road. You won't see it probably, you know, at the first few months, but as games are going to become old and replaced with new games, and the price will get lower, I think you're going to get this price, this money back big time. I'm just saying. So this is very important to keep in mind. Well, this $100 might be worth for you more down the road. So you can actually look at it kind of an investment. Okay, you put $100 more, but eventually you will save more. Now, another thing to consider, which is related to the internet, if you don't have a good internet connection or just don't like this waiting for a lot of time until like the game downloads, and it can be 100, even 200 gigabytes, depends. The thing is that if you have the disk and if you have running out of space on your hard drive, sometimes what we do is just, you know, we say, all right, I'm going to uninstall this game because I don't have space. I didn't invest in an external hard drive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to play it next week or maybe in a few days. Now, if you do it, well, you need to download the game again if you buy the digital edition, right? But with the disc, it will be much faster. You're just going to put the disc, maybe download an update, and you know, and that's it. You are ready to go probably in a few minutes, right? Even faster. So won't be an issue. But if it was digital, just playing around with uninstalling games and installing games, it can take a lot of time if you don't have a good internet connection. Again, keep this in mind. So these are some important reasons why you should consider getting the disc version, the standard version, instead of the digital edition. Again, these are important points that you need to consider. That's also related to the price. You think you're gonna save $100? Well, maybe you're gonna pay it more later on because you're gonna pay for just digital games, or you could have saved this money. So this might lead you to actually invest more money instead of saving money. So again, keep all of these points in mind, because sometimes, you know, you don't think about it, and then down the road you say, oh, if I bought the disc, I could have. So instead of having this I could have, just think about the reasons and see for yourself whether the disc version will be worth it and will be worth the extra $100. Again, you might save now but pay more later. All right. So this is it. If you have anything to add, please do it in the comment section below. Hope you find it useful and interesting, and consider subscribing to my channel and giving a like if you find it useful. I see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers. Bye bye.